Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Aditi.
Good morning.
Today we have Aditi Vashisht with us. Aditi is a designer primarily associated with academics. She graduated with a bachelor's degree in interior design from CEPT University, Ahmedabad, and has thereafter explored her interest in different fields of design. She has a keen interest in toy making and likes to explore mechanisms that can be adapted into playful forms. Welcome, Aditi. The stage is all yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Abhijit, for the introduction. So, hello, everybody, and good morning, and welcome to the toy workshop. So, as Abhijit just introduced me, I'm a designer, and although I graduated in interior design, I really got interested in toy making. And then I sort of decided to explore it on my own and, try to find out different details, mechanisms, because that is something that really interested in me. And I think today I want to share that excitement and that interest with you. And I hope that I'm able to spark a little more interest in you so that you pursue it. And you also try making toys because it's a lot of fun and it's not so difficult. Okay. So maybe today I can help you overcome any hesitation that you might have regarding, making something which seems complex, right? But trust me, it can be simplified and we can have a great time with that. Okay, so before we begin, let's have a little interaction, okay? I understand that this is like an online medium. I can't see you. You can only see me and hear me. But a workshop is only fun when we can have an interaction, when you can ask me questions, I can ask you questions, right? Otherwise, you could have just watched a YouTube video. Okay, so participants, let's have a little bit of introduction. Let's at least begin. Okay, so I want to know if any of you is a school student, like between the ages of 12 to 18. Is anybody there? If yes, just type a yes in the chat. All right, very quickly. So don't hesitate to type, don't feel shy because I can't see you. Okay, but at least I would want to hear you in some manner. Okay, so if you are a school student between 12 to 18 years of age, type yes. Right, I would like to know who I'm speaking to so that I can speak in that manner. Right? So if you're a school student and I start speaking to you like a college student, then communication is not good. All right, so let me know. Any responses, Abhijit?
No, we are waiting for the responses.
Okay.
The moment I have it, I will get back to you.
All right. So how many people have connected?
Uh, 500 plus.
Okay, 500.
We do have.
Okay. Okay, 500 participants. Any of you school student between ages of 12 to 18? Yes?
I don't think so. I think everyone
okay, no.
It kind of starts directly from college.
Okay. So any college students above the age of 18? College students, anybody?
I think most of them would be college students, but then we're
Okay.
still waiting for some replies.
I really request guys, please just type yes. All right. Anybody older than 25? Any responses so far, Abji?
Not yet. Not yet, but
Okay. So if I don't know who I'm addressing, guys, how do I address you?
Yes, everybody.
yes, Kajal says yes. Shikha says yes.
Okay, yes for what? Are you college student?
College students, yes.
Okay. 2 college students. Great. Thank you so much. Okay, and are you design students?
Sonia says yes.
Okay.
Sankit says yes. Krisha says yes.
Okay,
They
design
are design
students.
students and college students.
Okay, great. Now I understand my audience, who you are. Okay, so I would not speak to you like little kids. All right. So, okay. So since some of you are responding, I hope, as we go, we'll warm up a little bit and more of you respond. Okay. So let me get you started on what we plan to do today. Okay. So let me first show you. I have a few toys that I have around that I have made. Okay. So just to give you an idea what mechanisms mean and what they could translate into. All right. So let me show you first this toy that I have. So you see that it's hanging and it's a character and it has this sort of a wood structure. And how it works is when I press a lever, oops, okay, maybe this one. Okay, so when I press a lever, it sort of does a somersault. Okay, so the thing is, it's a very classical mechanism. It's not something that I have invented, but what I've tried to do is I've tried to like make a character. So if you can see, I've tried to make a little boy, with the football jersey and the football uniform and football shoes. And what we did, we made another one of this kind where we put a little ball over here. So every time this toy went like that, it sort of kicked the football. So how we can, yes, we have mechanisms, but can we put characters and details, such that they become more interesting and more relatable? So this is something that I made with two of my friends. So uh, three of us who are very interested in exploring toy design and mechanisms, we got together and made this. All right, so a lot of fun. Okay. So in the same thing, we made another character. So that was a little boy. We sort of made a man who's probably at the beach. So he's wearing like chappals and like some kind of shorts and a vest, and is like a dude. Okay. And we also made uh, this lady character who could be like a grandmother or like a lady who lives next door. And we've tried to make a sari. So you can see all the details in that. Right. So we just had one concept of that. It creates a somersault kind of a movement. Then we try to imagine all the different characters that are possible there. Okay. So speaking about characters and mechanisms, so this is a mechanism I was trying. So this is something I'm working on right now. And as you turn, you can see like a mechanism turning there. And what it does is it pushes this rod up and down. Okay. So this is entirely made out of paper. Sometimes we think paper is very thin, flimsy. What can we do out of it? But it will surprise you. Okay. So paper can give you a lot of neatness. All right. So a closer look maybe. Okay. And another one I'll show you. It's a very simple thing. So this is just a semicircle. And you can see that it's in the rest position, it's not straight. It's slightly tilted. It's resting slightly tilted. Okay, and when I do this, it sort of comes back to its position. Okay, so now I'm planning to like put characters and eyes and sort of a face over here so that it looks like a person is nodding, right? So we can have basic mechanisms that are simple or complex, and you could put characters on them, and that will create all the excitement. Okay, and let me show you what we plan to make today. Okay, so I've made a little version already. So you can see that I've used material that is readily available. Okay, and just notice the movement. So when I turn this pencil, right, it opens its mouth and shuts it. Okay, so this is what we are planning to make today. All right, and I will actually instruct you how to make this. So from what you've just seen, how many of you are excited and want to make this toy? And we will make it live. I will instruct you and we will make it, as I instruct, you will make it alongside. All right, simultaneously. So if you're committing to make this toy and if you really want to make this toy, please say yes in the chat. So I know that, you really want to make it. So Abhijit, if you receive any yeses in the chat, please let me know.
Yes, definitely. Mansa says yes. Tavishi says yes. Kritika says super excited to make the toy.
All right.
Rima says yeah.
Okay.
Good
So,
to interact with you.
All right. So I get an idea. Everybody's excited. But are you prepared? So there's some material that you would require, and there is a sheet like that you would require. So these are the parts that I've drawn already, and these need to be cut and sort of assembled together. So do you have these? There's a material list given over here, which says ballpoint pen and pencil and scale and a Tetra Pak.
Okay,
Right?
so yes, Surbi says yes, Atharva says yes, Tiasha says yes. Yeah,
Okay.
a lot of
So
them.
you all have the printout, right? Printout plus the materials?
Definitely yes. Kopal says definitely a yes.
Okay, that is awesome. Then we can, begin immediately. Since I think you all are all design students or college students, so I think you'll be able to follow it. It's not complicated. Okay. So let's begin right away and let's start making it. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll switch off my camera and I'll shift my phone such that you can see my you can see my workstation. Okay, so as I work, I'll keep instructing you, so you'll hear my voice and you'll see my hands working. Okay, so I'll just switch my camera. All right, so just give me a minute.
All right, take your time, Aditya.
Fine now?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, thanks a lot. Okay, so this is the setup and this is all the material we'll be needing, and I hope your setup is also ready, everybody. Okay, so how we will proceed is I will, so this is the toy that we are going to make. I will dismantle it and first tell you what all parts it has inside so you'll get a clear idea. And then we'll start making it, okay? So while you're watching me dismantling it, you can, if you have not arranged your workstation, you can arrange it, get all the materials right, at the reach of your hand. All right, and what we'll do is, after we have done a certain steps, I'll ask you to share an image of what you've done so far, right? So that we all know that we're proceeding well, we are all doing well. All right, is that fine? Say yes, everybody.
Waiting for a response.
Okay. Okay, guys. So we'll work for a little bit. Then we'll take a break where you can share whatever you've done so far. Okay, so that we know that everybody is proceeding well, is able to follow instructions. Is that, if that is okay, please say yes. Say yes. Say yes.
I think we have quite a few yeses. Yes, we can.
Okay. All right. All right. So let us proceed. So essentially what you'll see is that we have a Tetra Pak, and you'll notice that I've cut it into two parts, one to make the body and one to make the head. All right. So let me push it back. So I cut it completely and then I, put a sellotape over here. put a sellotape, which is just holding the head together and allowing it to sort of tilt back and forth. So I'll just open it and you'll see that this is actually what is pushing the head. So if you all know what the cam and follower mechanism is, so this is the follower and the cam is inside. So it's like a wheel that is inside, which is turning, which pushes this follower up and down. Okay. So this is the follower. I'll just take it out for you. Okay, so this is what the follower looks like. It's just a tube with like a paddle or a foot attached to it. Okay, so this is what gets pushed up and down. And inside the box, you can see there's a wheel attached with the pencil. All right, so I'll just take that out as well. So here's my pencil. And here's that piece that was working as a cam. So it was sort of, pencil was inserted into it such that it's like a little tight. And when the pencil rotates, the wheel rotates with it and it pushes the cam up and down like that. Okay. So like that. So these are the basic parts. So this is the cam, this is the follower, and this is the body of the toy. And that's how simple it is. Okay, and I've just made this cover so that there is a place for cam to go straight and it doesn't get wobbly. So it maintains its alignment over here. Okay, so it's just like a very crudely put together toy. And later on, you can decorate it and put like eyes, and probably you can put hair over here. This looks like a mohawk, so you can put like hair over here, you can put hands, whatever. But this is the basic toy. And all right, let's start making it. So now if you look at the sheet, okay, let's go over the sheet once. So you can see these oval things. These are the what will make the cam, right? So we have two of these. This rectangle would make the foot, the foot of the tube, the follower, and this rectangle with all dotted lines would make this tube. Okay, so you'll cut this and make this tube, attach the foot, and your follower would be ready. And you have a pencil and you attach these ovals to them and your cam would be ready. Okay, and this one is this thing which I've made as a cover, right? So that the follower remains in place. This is what that will be. Okay, and just to give strength to our cam and the foot, we are using cardboard. We are using corrugated sheet of this kind. Any packaging box you can sort of cut it out of. Okay. All right. So if you all are ready, we can get going. Okay, if you're ready, please say yes.
Aditi, Arjun asks if he can innovate this idea and kind of probably differ a little bit from.
Yeah, sure. Is that a question or are you asking it?
No, it's something that Arjun was asking. So, okay. Participant is asking.
Oh, absolutely. You can do anything you wish. So this is the basic mechanism. I can take you through the mechanism. Okay. You can make your own innovation. That is absolutely welcome.
All right.
Okay. So what kind of innovation do you want to make within the wheel or just the outside, face and decoration and those kinds of things? So whoever asked the innovation question can let me know what you want to innovate, the basic shape of the wheel or something to do with the appearance of the character.
We are waiting for a response from.
Yeah. Yes. So I repeat the question so that it's not missed and nothing else. All right. So should we get going, guys?
Vidit says yes.
All right, cool. Okay, so we can start by first preparing. So just put, I'm being a little careful because although I've emptied the can, there might still be some liquid that can spill over. So this is a basic 200 milliliter box. And what we have to do is we have to open these flaps. So you know that there are these flaps at the top and as well as the bottom. So I will just open these. All right. So I've opened all the 4 flaps and we're going to cut these flaps off because we don't need them. Okay, and what we're essentially doing is that we're just opening up this box and then later we will be closing it because we have to insert this cam inside. Okay, so we will cut it, open it, insert our cam, and then we will close it back again. Okay, so that's the idea. So you take this and just cut these 4 ears off. Okay, you don't really have to watch me do that, but I'll do that anyway. And don't be too stressed about being too neat, okay? It's fine. Whatever skills you have, it's fine. Okay, and just be a little patient if things don't happen, very quickly. That's also fine. Just be a little patient. Okay, there's some liquid inside. Okay, so I've kept this rag ready so that if there's any spillage, I can just catch it. All right, so there go the 4 ears. I can discard them. I don't need them anymore. And there was some liquid which I'll just kind of wipe. Okay. All right, so now that we have this, we have to cut around the edges. So we see that because we've cut the ear, we get a gap here and we get a gap here as well. All right, there's a gap here. And now we want to cut this. We'll cut along this line so that this opens up like that. Okay, so you can use a scissors or cutter, whatever you're comfortable with. Okay, and you see that I've cut open a flap like that. All right, this is clear. Nothing complicated about it so far. And do the same thing underneath also. So if I've cut this flap, cut the flap from here, from the bottom as well. Okay, I've cut the flap from here. Now cut such that the flaps opens like this. So I'm cutting it like so. All right. So you can see, I hope that's clear. And now I want to make one more cut, which is over here. So I'll just cut this off. Okay, 2 flaps, and now I'll cut this off. Be patient with it, go straight. All right, so it must open up like this. So the design students, I think if you know surface development, you will understand what I'm doing. Okay, I used a Tetra Pak just to make the the process simpler and faster. All right, so that was the box. This is what I have when it's open. I'd washed it with water earlier, so it's a little wet. I'll just wipe out all the water so that I can draw on it. All right, so now that I have this, I can get rid of the newspaper. All right, now what I want to do is you know that I have to separate this head and separate the body. So from the top, mark 4 centimeters on both sides and make a line that way. Okay. So because I have a 1 centimeter grid under my this thing, under my sheet, I can just directly mark 4 centimeters here. One, two, three, 4 centimeters here. Okay. And I can just draw a straight line. Okay, I have a line which is 4 centimeters from the top. You can see. All right, that was simple enough. So you, and the rest of the body is here. Okay, now the second thing I want to do is I want to mark these holes where the pencil will go, right? So what we'll do is, we know that we want the hole to be on the wider face, right? So the box has two faces, one a narrower face and a wider face. We want the holes to be on the wider face. Okay, so over here we'll see this is the wider face and this is the wider face. These two are narrow. So the markings for the holes will go on these two panels. All right, I hope that is clear. So we will make a hole which is 2.5 centimeters from the bottom. So from the bottom, I have to take 2.5 centimeters and then make a line. Okay, so I'll just measure it. 2.5, 2.5, and make a line. All right, so one line at 4 centimeters from the top and one line which is 2.5 centimeters from the bottom. All right, and now I'll make a center line over here. Because I want to find the center to make the hole, I'll also make a center. Okay, so this is about 4.5 centimeters wide, 4.6 actually. So somewhere here is the center. Okay, so I'll just draw the center line here. All right, so you now see this line, this line, this vertical line, and this vertical line. So have you all drawn this line, everybody? Okay, just let me know if you all are following this process and if you finished till this point. If yes, then please write yes in the chat. And Abhijit, whenever you receive answers, please let me know.
Yes, sure.
Okay, so now we will proceed and start making these holes. All right, so for that, what I've done, I haven't cut like a square hole. I've made a cross, and as you can see, I've created this. I've just opened the tabs up so that this holds the pencil very well. Okay, and so for that, what we have to do is, using the cutter, we have to make one cut like that and one cut on the vertical line, and same over here, one cut vertically and one cut horizontally, and it has to be a small cut, not very wide, so about 8 mm, because a pencil usually is around 8 mm thick. So what I'll do is I will put the scale there, and from this center line, I will mark a point for 4 mm here and 4 mm there, so that I get a length of 8 mm together. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 mm this side and 4 mm this side. Sorry, it was a little more. Okay, so yes, mistakes happen sometime. But what I've done is, from the center line, I've put 4 mm here, 4 mm here, so that I get an 8 mm marking. Same I'll do here. Okay, so from this point, I'll mark 4 mm here and 4 mm here, so that I get a vertical marking of 8 mm. Okay, like so. So now using the cutter.
Aditi, there's a question from Monish.
Yeah.
What's the difference between two horizontal lines?
Okay.
Between two horizontal lines.
Okay, so the top one I will cut off. We will cut off that, and that will make the head. And this line, the bottom horizontal line, is just to mark the position of these holes. Okay, okay. Let me make that clearer for you. Because we are going to separate this piece out, let me just cut it for you right now. Okay, so the top line, which was 4 centimeters from the top, just cut it. I'm repeating. I'm writing here. This is the head, right? So this measurement is 4 centimeters, and this entire strip makes the head. This is the body. And this line is 25 centimeters from the bottom. All right, so I've written for you that this top strip makes the head, right? The top line, which is 4 centimeters, this entire thing will make the head, and the bottom entire thing will make the body. And from the bottom, this line has to be 2.5 centimeters, right, from the bottom. I hope it's clear now. Okay, so now I'm going to cut off this 4 centimeter line. All right, so I hope it's clearer now. So we will just fold it back, stick it back, and this will become our head. Okay, this becomes our head. We will sort of tape it together when we're taping everything together. So you can keep it aside. We don't need it right now. We just need the body, and we'll sort of puncture holes in the body. Okay, so on the wider part of this body, so you can see that there are narrow parts. On the wider part, I've made this 8 mm markings, 4 centimeter each side of the center lines. All right, same thing I'll do here as well, so that we get the markings for where to make the holes. All right, so I've done the same thing. Where I've, from the center line, from this center line, 2 markings here and 2 markings here, which are total 8 mm like wide. Okay, and now, so I assume that all of you would be comfortable using a cutter like this, right? So you put it down and you sort of go over the cut like that. Okay, so because you're college students and design students, I assume that you know how to use a cutter. Okay, so just rechecking the marking on the wider face, you have to mark the center. So you can check. After we close it, right, we will have a hole on this surface, like we did on our earlier toy. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut these little. So let me be very clear that I'm going to make a cut here and I'm going to make a cut here. So it's a cross cut. And when I push the pencil through it, it will just open up. Okay, so I'll just make one and show you, and then you can repeat it after. So I'll place this scale as a guide for my cutter, and I'm going from this marking to this marking. Okay, and I'll make a cut. So don't be in a lot of hurry to push your cutter through the material. Be patient and go over it like 2-3 times so that it cuts. Don't try and get it through the material in one go. Okay, just be very patient when you're using the cutter. Now I'll do the same thing in this direction. So I keep making multiple cuts so that it cuts neatly, and I'm not being impatient with the cutter. Okay, always shut the cutter when you're not using it. So you can see I've cut it here, and I'll sort of push the pencil through from the inside towards the outside. Okay, and when I do that, you see that the pencil goes through. And it's also pushing the material over here. Okay, so it will just hold it very well. So hold it like this and rotate the pencil and try to push the pencil inside, and it will sort of go. Okay, you see it has gone inside. It can rotate. It can rotate also, but it is like fit very snugly. It's fitting in very nicely. Okay, so I'll take the pencil out and show you what has happened. Okay, so I made the cuts and I pushed the pencil through, and this is what we have. Right, I hope it is clear. Okay, now you have to do the same thing on the other wide face. Okay, so this was the wide face. I'll make the other cut on this face. So cutter, being patient with the cutter. This material can be slightly thick, so just go over it multiple times using the scale as the guide. Okay, I think I've managed to cut through the material. And the other. Okay, then I'll do the same thing again. I have a pencil which is sharpened, and I'll push the pencil through. And while I'm pushing the pencil through, I'm sort of holding the material over here such that the material does not bend more than it's supposed to. Okay, so I'm just giving support from behind, and I'm sort of inserting the pencil by sort of twisting it and rotating it and being a little patient with it. Okay, because if you try and hurry, you'll just tear the entire paper. Okay, so it has gone through, and you can see that we've got the same detail over here. All right. And this lower flap, this can be cut off. We don't need it. Okay, so you get the piece like this. We don't need this anymore. All right, so now you can see that if we close it up and we make a box, this pencil will go through it. Right? And we will have a body with this pencil that we can rotate. All right, so we've got this very basic step done. So step 1 is done. We have cut the Tetra Pak and we have two parts. One is the head, one is the body. The body has 2 holes for the pencil to go through, and that's what we have. So we finished the step 1. Everybody following so far?
Waiting for some replies.
Yeah. So let me know if you're done, then we will proceed to the next step where we will start cutting all these parts and we'll just start sticking them and cutting them. Okay, that's a more simpler part of the whole process.
Yes.
Yeah, I think a lot of people says yes. Kritika says yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So I hope that it's really working, and when we take a break, we have something. It's going on. We have made some progress. Okay. So good going, guys. I hope it's not too difficult and I'm not being too boring with it. All right. Just bear with me for a while. Okay. So we have these 2 parts ready, and now we can go ahead and make this cam for ourselves. So what I've done is, you see these 2 ovals, just cut these 2 ovals and stick them on the cardboard, and then we will cut it out and then stick it together to make like a thick cam. Okay, so the first thing we're dealing with is making of the cam, this little wheel that we want, and you'll see there is a plus sign, and this is where we will be making a slight cut with our cutter. So this is what the plus sign is for. Right now you just have to cut the outline. Okay, so cut the outline of these 2 ellipses, of these 2 oval shapes, cut them and stick them on the cardboard. So that's what we are doing. Okay, I've cut those 2 ovals out. And I'll cut from the middle to separate them. And then I'll, again, cutting anything, you just have to be patient. Don't try to be in a hurry. And if you cannot manage to be very neat, that is okay. So just chill, breathe, and so I'm saying all this in detail just for anybody who has not made anything before. If you all made, I'm sure you know how to go about these things. All right, 1 oval done. The second one. All right, so I have 2. I will just stick them. So what I like to do is not use the adhesive directly from the bottle. If there is some kind of a waste piece of paper, take out the Fevicol or the adhesive on it. It's just a more efficient way of doing it, and it's less messy also. Otherwise, you have to open the bottle every time, apply it, and then shut it, and So what I like to do is just have a method about it. So I take a little bit of the adhesive, the Fevicol, apply it on the reverse. Okay, Don't apply a very thick layer, otherwise it can become wet and take time to stick. Okay, now what I would want to suggest, on the corrugated board or this cardboard sheet, you will see these lines, these vertical lines. All right. So what I want to do is I want to stick one oval straight along the lines. Okay, it's stuck. And the other oval I want to stick like that. Okay, where the lines go this way. So I'll just apply glue on the other one. Okay, and I'll paste it that way. That way it'll just be a little more stronger. All right, and any excess Fevicol, I'll just wipe it out so that it doesn't cause any mess later on. All right, so I've stuck this and it is stuck, and now I will cut it out using scissors, or you can also use your cutter. It's very efficient, but whoever is not comfortable using a cutter can use the scissors. That's also possible. It will not be a problem. Okay, now I'm just going to cut it out. So yeah, you can watch the screen or just, be cutting it. So again, be a little patient because it's a slightly thicker material. You might not be able to go around the turn in one go. So just keep doing it in smaller steps. Okay, like that. All right, so it's a decent kind of an oval that I've got. Let's put it here. Let's cut the second one. Okay, so I've got two pieces, and you must ensure that you have these marks on top. Okay, these plus marks, and these brown sides, the brown sides, we will stick them together. Okay. So the two brown ones, we'll stick them together. So I'll apply glue on the brown side. Okay, and stick them together nicely. Just hold it for a while, it will stick, not take a lot of time. Okay, so we have this cam which is ready. And now we shall insert a pencil. So it doesn't matter if you have like a perfectly round pencil or a hexagonal one, both shall work. We just have to ensure that it is tightly fit on the pencil so that it doesn't move freely. It moves only when the pencil is rotated. All right, so what I'm going to do now is that if you see these little plus signs, this little plus sign, I'm just going to insert my cutter a little bit. So I'm not trying to cut a line. I'm just going to insert my cutter a little bit. So I'll just show you on another piece that I'm just going to insert the cutter a little bit. So it makes a tiny, tiny cut. Right, so it's made a tiny cut where I inserted the cutter. And that's what I want to do. And it's just so that I make like a place for the pencil to go in. So I just insert my cutter, make a tiny cross, okay? And then we can put our pencil and it will sort of go through easily, okay? That's what we want to do. It'll just go through. All right, so on this little oval, the cross that you see, just insert your cutter on the line like the cross that I've made. So I've inserted my cutter once. I've inserted the cutter to sort of make a little cut so that it makes a place for the pencil to go in. Now start putting the pencil and rotate it. So don't try to push it too hard. All right, just give a little support from the back and just rotate it. Okay, and this has managed to go inside. Just straighten it up a little bit. And we have our cam, which is ready. So you see, we have this wheel ready. Okay, so now when we rotate it, it will do this. So this piece is ready. Now we will cut out the rest of the pieces, assemble them, and then we will take a little break where you will click a photograph of all the parts that you've made so far, and then just send it. Okay, so making these 3 parts now. Okay, so now I'm making the follower. We've already made the cam. We will now make this follower. Okay, so this rectangle is this foot of the follower, which I'll just cut out. Not very difficult to cut. And I'll stick this foot also on the cardboard, and then I'll cut out the cardboard. So doing the same thing again, applying Fevicol or whatever adhesive you have. Okay, put it on the corrugated board. Any orientation will work in this case. It doesn't matter whether you put it like this or like that. It doesn't matter. Again, wiping out the Fevicol to avoid mess. All right, and the foot is ready. Now let's make the tube. So I hope that you've got a stiff paper to make this tube. In case you do not have a stiff paper and it is some regular printing paper, what you can do is you can cut this out and then paste it again on the same sheet, so you get it slightly thicker. We don't want to put this on a corrugated board, but just you can cut this much, paste it on this sheet so that it just becomes a little stiffer. Okay, in case you have a thin paper right now. So I think as you will understand that the outline is what you will cut, and these dotted lines are where you will fold it. So we will score it using a ball pen over there, but this is the dotted line is where we have to fold, and the outline is where we have to cut. Okay, so just cutting along the outline. Be as patient as you can be. No need to hurry up. Okay, I've got it. And because I have a thin material, I'll just stick it on this paper to get a little bit of thickness. So again, very quickly, applying glue. So having like this little stick makes it very easy to apply glue on a larger surface in one go. Okay, I'll just paste it anyway because now we don't need this. So I've just pasted it, and I'll just clear the mess that I've made over here. Okay. All right, so I'll just cut it out again. Just bear with me. And this time I'll use a cutter and a scale. All right, so I have this. Okay, so now I have to fold, and to ensure that I fold exactly in a straight line, I just draw on this line with a ballpoint pen, and I'll put a little pressure with the ballpoint pen so that I make an impression on the paper, and that impression will help us, fold this exactly along a straight line. If you try and do it freehand, we can make mistakes. But so what you do is all these 1, 2, 3, 4 dotted lines, I will just draw over them with a ballpoint paper, and I'll ensure that I'm putting a little pressure. So I'll just show you one. Okay. With a little pressure, I'm doing it twice. And I've made an impression over here. I feel it. So when I fold it, it folds exactly where I've drawn the line. Okay. See, that's a very neat fold. All right. So now let's draw with the ballpoint pen on all the dotted lines. Okay, just going over it twice. If your ballpoint is empty also, it's fine because we just have to make an impression in the paper. All right, so now fold along all these lines. Okay, so we had folded this earlier. We did the second fold. Now let's do the third fold. So you see it folds very easily, and it folds exactly where that line is. Okay, now folding the last line. So start from the top, and then at the bottom also you can just do pinch it, so it will start folding, and then you can fold the rest. Okay, so now you can see that we have something which looks like a tube. All right, and what you have to do now is on this part, on this edge which is slightly cut, you have to apply glue and stick it inside. So I'll open it up. On this, the last surface, you have to apply glue. Okay, and then we will fold it, and the glue part would go inside and it will form the tube. Right, I hope it is clear. The glue part goes inside and we get a tube. Okay, so I'm putting glue now on the edge that is slightly cut. Okay, I'll fold it. And I have the tube. Okay, what you can do is put the glued surface down. Okay, put the glued surface down and you can sort of push it with a pencil or a pen or something. You can push it so that you ensure that it's stuck properly. So I have the tube ready. All right, so were you guys able to follow so far, and do you have the tube almost ready? I hope it is. Okay, and now we will stick this part, the tube, which is the follower, we will stick it on the foot. So now we have to ensure that we are sticking it right in the center. Okay, it shouldn't get off center, otherwise we will lose our alignment. So what you can do is a very sort of straightforward, easy method is to draw a cross on it. On your rectangle, just draw two diagonals. Okay, draw two diagonals, it will give you a sense of the center. Okay, and then you can draw a horizontal line to so further you get, So now you have a sense of the center. Okay, you have a sense of the center. Now you place it. Okay. Now you can place your the tube right in the center. Yes.
Aditi, there's a question from Tavishi.
Yes.
She's asking what should be the length of the cube?
Of this tube?
Of the cube. See, cube.
Cube. I don't get it.
Yeah, I think that one.
Yeah, that one. I mean, the one that you have in your had in your hand. Yeah, that one.
This thing.
Yeah.
It's in the printout, right?
Okay.
It's given in the printout.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Is it not clear? Is it?
Waiting for the
Okay.
participant to revert.
Okay. So I'll just wait for you to respond, Tavishi, because this printout was just given. As I just showed you, I've cut it out from the printout. So the print is gone, but on this sheet, it was given here.
Yeah, I think that's fine. Thank you.
All right. So what I'll do now is I'll apply a little bit of glue at the bottom and I'll fix it right in the center. Okay, so this diagonal gives me some sense of what the center is, so I can make a little adjustment. If you're not feeling, confident of doing it by the eye, you can draw it once. So hold your tube where you think the center is and just mark. Okay, so I've made a little marking. So now it will be a guide for where I can place my tube. Okay, so if you can do it by visual judgment, you go ahead. Otherwise, you hold your tube on the foot such that it's in the center, and you just make a marking for where your tube should sit. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll take this adhesive that I've taken out on a surface, and I'll just sort of dab the tube on it. Okay, so I'm dabbing the tube on it and it'll pick some glue on. All right, so you see that just by dabbing, I'm applying enough glue. Okay, enough glue is now come on the edge, and I'll be very careful, and where I'd done the marking, I'd use it as the guide, and I'll just stick. So don't try and use a lot of pressure. Use very light pressure, and don't try to be, do it in a very hurry. Otherwise, you can lose your alignment. Oops, sorry. I'll do it again. So just hold it for a while and it will stick, not a problem. Okay. So it's pretty much, I think, in the center. All right. And I'll let it dry. I'll not bother it anymore. Otherwise it won't dry. Okay. And the last piece that we have left to cut is this one. So you can see it's a big rectangle with 3 smaller rectangles and a little white square in the center. So this white square is what we will cut off and remove, and we will cut the outline. And again, as you understand, the dotted line would be where we are making a fold. Okay, so it is this piece, that sort of makes a cap, and it allows the cam to be aligned. So this is that piece. Okay, so let's just quickly cut it off. Okay, so cut off 2 sides, cutting along the outline. Okay, we have this. Now we will cut off the central square, and we will use the cutter and the scale as to do that, because to cut it with the scissors, we might not get precision. So we will cut it using cutter and the steel scale, or whatever scale you have. Okay, so be very careful that you maintain that square, because if that square is not maintained, the follower will, not move properly. So just be very patient, do it very slowly, and be very careful that when you're cutting with the cutter, you start from exactly the corner and finish at the corner. Do it very slowly, otherwise you'll go over the corner. That's a possibility. So be very careful. Start from the corner, go slowly, and finish at the corner. Okay, and do it for all the 4 sides. So I've done one. And again, as I said, don't try and get through the material in one go. Use 2-3 cuts and do not apply a lot of pressure. Just a very slight pressure will do. So starting from one corner, moving slowly and finishing at the other corner. Okay, it's not done, so I'll go over it again. Okay. So there, that is done. So I have 2 corners cut. Okay, you see, you go slowly, you get it very neatly. Now the third edge and the fourth. Okay, so there you go. This comes off. All right, I have a piece with a hole in it. Okay, now I will do the same thing we did earlier, where we will draw over these dotted lines with a ballpoint pen. This is just to ensure a little bit of neatness, and precision. Okay. So just folding along the lines where I've drawn with a ball pen, just folding them. This was pretty easy, nothing much. Okay. And I think we have all our components ready now. Okay. So at this point, you must have the head, this opened up cardboard, which is the head, the Tetra Pak, and this part, which is the body. We have the follower, with the foot and this tube, that is the follower. We have the cam ready, which is this, this elliptical wheel inserted in the pencil. We have that ready. And we have this little cover ready, which is like a guide for our follower. Okay. So let me know if you have done all these steps and all your parts are ready. As soon as you're ready, just type yes. Or even if you're about to finish, just type yes. So we can take a break at this point. We can take a 10-minute break. You send us photographs. So arrange all your items like this. Click a photograph from the top and send it to us so that we know that we have all reached the same point. All right, guys, if you follow, say yes.
We are waiting for some responses.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll just repeat, guys, if you are,
quite a
yes.
few people have actually replied.
Okay.
Deepika said yes. Mansa has said yes.
All right, that's great. So guys, whatever parts you've made, just click a picture. It doesn't have to be very perfect picture. Just click it very quickly, send it. Abhijit, do they know where they have to send the pictures?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
To all the participants, a link has been shared. If you can just please go to the link and upload your picture.
So we will take a 5-minute break. It's 12:16 now. Let's consider 12:15. We take a 5-minute break because we've made all our parts. Now we will start the assembly. So if anybody is lagging behind, they can catch up. We will take a 5-minute break. You can all drink water and come back. Okay, but also send your photographs.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. So let's take a 5-minute break, guys. I'll see you after 5 minutes. And any questions you have, please do ask regarding anything, not just this specific toy, but if there is anything else, you're free to ask. Please do. Let's keep this interaction going. Hello. Hi, Abhijit. We can begin now.
Sure, Aditi. Sure. Just give me a minute.
Yes.
Yeah, you're going live in another few seconds.
Okay.
Yes, she's back. Go live.
Have we received any images?
We have from one, it's work in progress.
Yes. Positive.
Will I be able to see the images?
Yeah, I'll share screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Aditi. So I will be sharing the screen.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is just one image shared.
Okay.
Kritika.
Okay.
She says this is work in progress. So
All right. It looks
done. Do share, please.
Sorry.
I'm saying, Kritika, if you're done, please share the screen.
So Kritika, it looks good. I think you still have to make the tube. Is there a problem in making it, or you'll be able to manage?
Monish is asking.
Yeah.
In the meantime, how to learn all these mechanisms, like if there are YouTube tutorials or if there are some where you can learn things like that.
Yeah. So Monish, I think, it happens through multiple mediums. So you have to watch YouTube tutorials and you have to do a lot of research sometimes. Not everything is available. Then you have to do like a deconstruction. So if you see something, then try and figure out how it is working. So a basic knowledge of mechanism helps, right? So there is this basic set of mechanisms that you can just type types of mechanism and check. So there's like a cam and follow mechanism. You have linkages, on which a scissor mechanism is based. So there are linkages, there are levers, there are gears, there are all these different sections of mechanisms. Once you know the basic, then you can do your further research into each one. So how many types of cams can there be? So like if this is one cam, if my camera is visible to everybody, right? So if this is one kind of cam, it is elliptical. So what it does is it creates a smooth movement, right? So when I do this and a follower is following it, the follower creates a smooth movement. You can have a variation of this, which is like this. So a cam of this kind, okay, will give you a different kind of a movement. So it will give you a smooth movement till it is going like that. As soon as it hits this point, it will move out, it will do like a jerky movement. So the follower will fall down. So it will go smoothly up, right? So when it starts, it will move smoothly up. And as soon as it hits this corner, it will make a sharp, drop. So you'll have a smooth and then a sharp drop, and then smooth rising and then a sharp drop. So just a variation in this wheel will give you different kinds of movement of the follower, right? So go first, find out what are these basic mechanisms, and then you can go further into each mechanism and what are the possibilities with each mechanism, because they are immense. Okay, gears are of so many kinds, linkages are of so many kinds, and each of them creates like a different kind of a movement, and which can be very interestingly adapted into different kinds of toys. So start with basic. You'll have to follow a lot of YouTube videos, and you may find a lot of drawings at times. So it's really research. So all these resources not in one place, but you'll really have to like do a little bit to find different resources. And sometimes when no resource is available and you see a mechanism, you just have to like deconstruct it and see for yourself how it works. All right, so that's how I have been doing it, right? And then if you find fellow, anybody, your friends from engineering background, mechanical engineering, probably they'll be able to help you more with understanding the mechanism. But since you are untrained as an engineer, these basics will help you. Okay, engineers can sometimes go into extreme technicalities, but there are simpler ways to understand it also. So yes, it has to be self-driven. Find out different avenues, different YouTube channels, and all these image sharing resources that we have, Instagram or Pinterest. You'll find a lot of mechanisms on it, and then you figure out how it is done. So a lot of trial and error along with research is how you're supposed to go about it. All right, I hope that answers the question.
Thank you, Aditi. In the
Thank
meantime,
you.
Rohini has shared her cube, and I'm going to share it now in your screen.
Okay. Yes, perfect. That's very good, Rohini. Yeah. So I'm very happy to see that you're following. Things are happening fine. And if you're all ready with your parts, we can just start assembling it and it'll be ready in no time. Then we can spend a little time, decorating it, putting, characteristic details like hair and eyes and other things, and make it more interesting and individual. All right. So can we start?
Waiting for a reply.
Okay. Say yes, guys, if we can start, if all your parts are ready and if we can start.
Yeah, I think have quite a few yeses.
Okay, that's great. And I'm really glad that you're responding also, guys. So I'm very happy. So even on the online medium, I can't see you, I can only hear you. Good that you're responding. Thanks a lot. All right, so let's begin assembling it. Okay. So let's just first put together the head. 1 second, I can't see myself. Yeah, okay. So let's start with the head. So this smaller part was our head. We just have to tape it together, put it back so that it makes the head. So what I do is I keep these, strips of sellotape ready, taped to like a plastic surface. So that I just have to pick it. I don't have to cut, each strip of sellotape as I'm working. So this head, I'll just bring the ends together, hold it like that, and I'll just apply sellotape. No big deal. Don't have to be very neat. Okay, right now you don't have to be very neat. We'll see later. Okay, and we have to close this head also. So I'm putting together the head now. Okay, so the cube has come together now, which makes the head. Just tape it nicely so that everything is secure and in place. Don't worry about using too much sellotape, it's okay. Okay, so when we used to make models, using sellotape was a big no-no, We did architectural models and we did interior design models, and we did it with a lot of neatness. So we always did it with, the correct method of using Fevicol and not using sellotape. But right now, since this is a trial, this is like a sketch model. So since this is a trial, we can be, not neat about it. It's okay. It has to work first of all. And then when we make it sometime later, we can be all neat and proper and, precise. Right now, it's not needed. Okay, so I've just finished taping and putting together the head. I find this detail very interesting because it sort of gives me an opportunity to make hair over here. Okay, so I kind of like the detail that it already has. So the head is ready. I'll keep it over here. This is the head. Okay, now I'll start assembling the body. All right, so what you have to do is keep your sellotape ready And now we have to insert the pencil into these holes and then finish the body. Okay, so just watch it. I'm sure you'll understand it. Okay, so that I'm just putting in the pencil here. And then I'm bringing the other end over it, right? And such that the wheel is inside the body now, right? So you see, very simple. The pencil passes through the body and the wheel is inside, okay? And it should be moving. So just move around the pencil a little bit so that, the opening, allows the pencil to move a little freely. So just give a few rotations so that it becomes very comfortable to roll it. Adjust it. So you'll notice that although, this wheel should be in the center, even if it is not, it will still work. Right now, it will not be a problem. So don't worry too much about shifting the pencil. What if it shifts? What if this is not in the center? It's okay if it's not in the center. You can bring it back a little bit in the center, but it will still work. Okay, just ensure that it is very tight around the pencil. So this wheel should be tight around the pencil. Other things you don't have to worry about. And if you've got this, now we will close this also. So we'll finish the cube. We'll stick this, okay? We inserted the pencil with the wheel inside, and now I'll stick it. Okay, just bring the two things together. Put sellotape. Okay, so now you can see inside that the wheel is turning, it's coming together very nicely and very quickly. Okay, just secure this edge so that it doesn't open up. Put like a few strips of sellotape. Don't worry about putting too much. It's okay to put too much. Okay. So seal this entire side, this entire edge with your sellotape. Okay, so I have this box ready with the pencil inserted and the wheel can move nicely. All right, this is ready. So I'll just push the pencil in a little bit because it was off center, so it was tipping like that. So because it was off center, my pencil, it was tipping like that. So I've just inserted the pencil a little bit, and the wheel, I've adjusted the wheel to bring it in the center. So see, it's a rough model. You can make your adjustments, not a big deal. Okay, I have this. So ready. So we have the head ready. We have the body ready with the cam fitted inside. Now we have to put in this, which is the follower and the foot. So with the measurements that I'd already given, I'm sure that it goes in very nicely. There's no problem. Okay. Just in case this little rectangle is bigger than the body or doesn't go in quite easily, you can snip off a little bit, like with the scissors, you can just cut off a little bit and ensure that it sort of slips inside very easily. Okay, so now you see when I put it inside, it sort of doesn't remain straight. It goes, it doesn't remain straight. That is what we have this for. So if we put this cap on top, like that, right? So it just makes like a perfect place for this cam to remain straight. All right, so what I'll do is insert this inside. Okay, so this was the body. This is your follower. The tube with the foot is the follower. Just insert it inside, and then put this cover on top. So ensure that the tube goes inside. Okay, I hope you've understood. I'll do it once again. Okay, just to be extra clear. So I've inserted this inside. It goes very easily, but it doesn't stay in place. It keeps falling. For that, I have this. Okay, so I'll just insert the tube in it. And I will now stick it over here. Okay, so now that you see, when I turn, when I'm turning my pencil, the follower is going up and down. Right? I hope that is clear, guys. If there's any problem, you can just put a message in the chat. Okay. So this thing also, I'll just stick with the sellotape very quickly.
Waiting for a reply.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just finishing sticking this thing over. Okay, with sellotape.
I don't
It's
think
going
there
a
are
little
any
wonky.
problems.
I'll make it straight. All right, cool. That's great. All right, so my basic mechanism, believe it or not, is ready. Okay, as I'm rotating the pencil, the follower is going up and down. Okay, and now I can go ahead and put the head. So for the head, you can see that when I put the head, so keep, I think I need to put some more sellotape here. All right, so it's secure now, it won't flap. All right, so you'll notice that the length of this tube is slightly longer. So when I put the head, there's a lot of gap. Okay. So that was deliberately done because sometimes there are, we don't, the way our hands work, when we cut something, no two people will have the same, the exact same length. We get exact same cuts and measurements only when it is done by machine. So as we're doing it, and there could be variation in, probably the box we get or the amount we cut. So the tube was made a little longer. So what you do is take it to the lowest, right? So when you turn your wheel, there is a highest point and there is a lowest point, right? So just hold this tube at the lowest point. Okay, because at the lowest point, the mouth must be shut. So you can see in this one, right? In this toy, the mouth is shut. Then it opens and then it shuts. Okay, so for the mouth to be shut, your follower must be at the lowest position. So I'm pushing the wheel. This is the highest position. Then I bring it to the lowest position and then I stop. Okay, this is where I have to measure the length of this. Okay, so I'm holding. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll hold the toy or the body like this and I'll measure this distance. Okay. Since my camera is on top, you cannot see the front view, but I'll just measure it. Okay, and it comes to 1.5 centimeters. Okay, which tells me that if I cut off 1.5 centimeters from the top, I should have a perfect length. So what I'll do is I'll not cut off 1.5 centimeters in one go, but I'll slowly start cutting so that I don't make a mistake. Okay, so I'm just using a scissors, a pair of scissors, because it's paper, it will flatten out. You can cut it and then you can shape it like a tube. Okay, so that's convenient. So what I'll do, I'll make markings on it. So I know that I need to cut off 1.5 centimeters. So I will start making markings at every 0.5 centimeters. I'll just show you. Okay. So I've made a marking at 0.5, then another marking at 0.5. Okay. And a third marking, which is, all right. So if you see, I've made these markings. This is at 0.5, this is at 0.5. So, and this is the third marking, which brings me to 1.5. So I know that I have to cut this much, but let me go gradually so that I don't make a mistake. So first I'll cut along the 0.5 line. Okay, I'm bringing the follower to the lowest point. I'm flattening it out a little bit and I'm cutting at 0.5 centimeters first. Okay, so I've cut off a little bit of this tube to make it shorter. And when I put the head, I see that it has come closer. Right, you see the gap has reduced. So now I'll cut it on the second. Okay, so second marking. So in total, I would have cut 1 centimeter. So I'll cut, I had cut 0.5 earlier. Now I'll cut another 0.5. So in total, I have cut or I have removed 1 centimeter from this tube. So I'll put the head again and check. Okay, see, as I said, go gradually because it has already coming into place. I don't need to cut anymore. Okay, now if I give a little check, it opens and it shuts. Okay. Okay, I'm not able to show you the movement because the camera is on top, but the mouth is shutting. So at the lowest point, the head is in contact with the body. That's what we want. And when I open the cam to the highest position, I get a little gap. That's exactly what I want. Okay. So in lowest position, there should be no gap. And when I rotate it at highest position, there should be a gap. Okay. So the length is now working perfectly. Okay. So again, I would request that when you're taking off the length, do it in little bits. Because if you cut off at once, you might have taken, a wrong measurement and it can become too short. And in case you cut it too short, don't worry, just put something inside so it covers for the length. Okay, so just take a piece of cardboard, put it inside. So the length from here will increase and it will fit. Okay, so I hope you're following this. Let me bring it back to the lowest position. Now that I have this, I will put tape on this side, only on one side, such that it starts opening like that. Right? So I'm holding the head and the body together. I'll be applying tape only on one side, such that it becomes an openable mouth. Okay, and then our toy would be ready. Okay, I'm putting it together. Again, put enough sellotape. Don't worry. Okay, so now I think it is done. I've taped this side All the other three sides are free, so it's able to open the mouth like that. Okay, so when I rotate it, it's opening its mouth. See? Okay, so this is done. I'll show you like a front view. Okay, it's a little difficult in the top camera. I'll shift my camera and then I'll show you from the front, but this is done. Okay, guys? So how about you? At what stage are you? Are you finished? Are you done? If yes, please type a yes. Okay, guys, if you want me to repeat the assembly a little bit, I can repeat. So let me know. If you're finished, you're on track, type yes. If you want me to repeat anything, please type repeat.
Aditi, we have a question.
Yeah.
From Kritika.
Yeah.
Ma'am, can you please explain how to put the sellotape on the paper flaps again?
On the paper flaps?
Yeah.
All right. So do you want me to go back a few steps?
Probably, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I'll dismantle what I've done and I'll go back a few steps.
Okay.
So Kritika, by paper flaps, you mean what? Okay. So let me just wait. Okay. So I'm taking it apart. Just give me a second, Kritika. I'm taking it apart and then I'll ask you what you mean. Okay, so now I've taken this apart. Now, Kritika, tell me, by paper flaps, do you mean this part? Is this the part that you mean as paper flaps, Kritika?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll just repeat this. Okay, so what you have to do, you have the body ready. Okay, with the pencil inserted, you have the wheel that sort of comes in the center. Okay, and it's moving inside. We have this ready. Now you have the follower and the foot ready. What you have to do is insert this foot inside. Okay, leave it. You have to insert this foot inside the body and just let it be. Then you take this, okay, this piece, which you're calling the paper flap, and you have to insert this through this hole. This follower tube must come out. Okay, so insert it from the top. Ensure that this rectangle is in alignment with this. Don't put it like that. Okay, put it like this. Okay, so I'm just doing it slowly for you to observe. Okay, so just insert this into the, okay, so this is what we have. Now you hold it like this. Okay, all right, and you have to put sellotape over here and here. Okay, so I'll just cut up a little bit of sellotape. Okay, Kritika, I hope you're following now. So this is how the flaps must come. Okay, and you just stick it however. Okay, basically these flaps have to be stuck to the body so that they don't move. All right, the third piece here. And the fourth piece here. So I just put extracellular tape along this because it's sort of opening up from here. Just to sort of make it a little bit neater, I also applied cellular tape here and here. That just secures it more nicely, no other reason. Okay, Kritika, let me know if it is clear to you now. So I'm just putting some cellular tape over here.
Kritika says, got it, thank you.
All right, that's great. Okay, so now it is moving perfectly in alignment. Okay, now I have to put the head. I hope everybody's clear about how to get the internal tube to the correct measurement. So once you've got that, I will just put the head, and I'll stick it behind. Okay, so I've put tape behind, which will act as a hinge and it will make the mouth move like that. Okay, and now our toy is ready. So as I turn, it opens its mouth. All right, everybody, let me know if you're on board, you're on the same page, if you have understood all the steps and if you finished it. Okay, so if you're on the track and you're almost finished, please type a yes in the chat. If I receive a yes, then I'll shift my camera and then we can talk face to face. All right, are you done, guys? Are you on track?
We have quite a few yeses.
All right, so, okay. So I'll just turn off my camera for a bit. I'll change the position of my camera and then I'll switch it on again, right? So that we can see. I mean, you can see my face also. Okay, so just shutting off for a bit. All right, so my camera is on again and you can see what I've just made. Right? So how about you guys? Is it working for you or not? Mine is working.
We are waiting for a few
okay.
Comments. Mansa says working. Mansa, would you like?
All right, that's great, Mansa.
Mansa, would you like to take a picture of that and put it up in the Google Drive link?
Hi, Mansa, and anybody else who has finished, please just upload your photo so that we can see how much you've done, whether it's working or not. Right? So let us know, guys, how it is going. Finished, about to finish, working, not working, any problems? So I'll start over when we receive a response, okay, guys? So as the next step, what we can do is, we have this bear, toy looking like nothing right now. We can now start putting details, and we'll also give this toy a name. Okay, so because you're creating a character, I'm sure you'll have a name in mind. So just name it, and we'll start putting like details on it. Like I said, I really like this little detail, which looks like hair on top.
We've quite a few. Avishka says working. Monish says working. Mansa says working. So guys, if it's working, please put it up in the group.
Yeah, that's awesome, guys. If it's working, yeah, please put it up in the drive so that we can see it. So that we can, you all can also see what the other participants are doing, not just me, but you can see each other's work. So please put it up, because you all can also not see each other. So let's have, any group bonding, any group feeling that we possibly can. So just please very quickly upload it on the drive. Are we getting any images, Abhijit?
Yes, Mansa, I think is trying to upload.
Okay. All right, guys, we'll just wait a little bit for, a few of you to upload. We'll see, we'll share the screen, and then we'll move forward. Okay, but we're through with the toy. We'll now just add details and personalize it and give it some character and make it more alive.
So Mansa has sent a video.
Okay.
I'm going
Oh,
to
wow,
show
that's
you the video.
great, Mansa.
The video up on your screen.
Okay. Wow, that's great. Okay. So Mansa, you've also made the body by yourself. So you've not got a Tetra Pak, but you've made the body yourself?
Yeah, I think
Oh,
so.
that's great. Yeah, that's nice. Any other videos, any other images?
Not yet.
Okay.
So the moment I get something, I would definitely share it with you.
Okay. All right. So guys, I think it's pretty much working for everybody. So now as the last step, I would request you to start detailing it. So like I've just cut, where is it? Okay. So I've just cut this piece of, strip that I want to stick as hair. All right. So think of eyes, whether you want small eyes, big eyes, eyes bigger than the head, eyes half the size of the head. Try different kinds of eyes, put it, and then also start putting hair, which can also go behind a little bit. Okay, so now start detailing that. I'll also start doing that, and then name your character. You can stick a piece of paper, write name on the top, so that in your video we can see the name of the character. All right, guys. So I've just drawn two eyes and I'm just going to cut them and stick them over here.
Aditi, we have another video.
Okay. Oh, that's great.
And
Yeah, let's see it.
Coming up on your screen now.
Okay.
And
Okay, that's nice. It's working. All right. So it's nice to see, that you made the body by yourself and not use the Tetra Pak. That was fine. I designed it so that, it's for people who are not familiar with design processes. So I'm glad you did that. Thanks. So I've just made these two eyes, and I'll stick them. So I've put eyes. Now I'm going to put some teeth over here so that, it looks like it's biting. So this also I'm just sticking with sellotape, not trying to be extremely neat about it. All right, so that's the character. Okay, if you can see. Okay, so I think we're done with this. So please put these characteristics, these details a little bit, put a name here, write on it, or just put a name tag over here, and then just submit as images of your character. All right, and we're done with the workshop, I think. Any questions you wish to ask, please do.
We'll wait for a few questions.
Yes. Any kind of questions, guys. It can be like we had a question earlier about how we can learn more about mechanisms, if there's anything else. If you have ever made something earlier and you wish to share your experience with it.
I think Arjun shared quite a few photographs.
Okay.
And I would share those with you.
Okay.
Coming up on your screen now.
Okay. Okay, so Arjun, you've made innovation in the shape of the body. Yeah, instead of it being perfectly cuboidal, you've made a slight detail, which is very nice, I think. That was a good innovation.
I think it kind of shows the process here.
Uh-huh. It looks very technical. Okay. Very nice.
I think this is the last picture that we have.
Okay. Okay. So you've made the body shape different and you've made it slightly smaller, I guess. I can't judge whether it's smaller, but at least the body shape is different. It has got a pyramidal body. and like a cuboid, like a rounded cuboid as the face. I think it's very interesting. Thank you. And what kind of, okay. I wonder what kind of cam was he using inside? Was it a simple elliptical one or a different one? I don't know.
If you want, I can share it again.
Uh-huh. So I'm really glad that you did this, did it a little differently. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Arjun.
Thank you, Arjun. Thanks a lot.
Any other questions, participants? Please feel free to ask in the chat box.
Yes. So at least let me know, would you want to make more of them?
We do not have a question yet.
Okay. Okay. So we can wait for 2 more minutes for any questions. And then I think we can sign off.
Yeah.
Okay. At least tell us how your experience was, guys, since you've, I think, finished it. So I'm sure, you were invested till the end. So thanks a lot for that. And I'm really glad to see all these results that are functioning and that are working. And I hope you had a nice time. So any questions, let me know. Otherwise, we can sign off.
So Mansa asks,
Yeah.
while making such toys, what are the important things we need to keep in mind?
Okay. So Mansa, I think if you're exploring, right? If you're exploring a new mechanism, first, don't be afraid, by the complexities. Just try and break it down and have your steps very neatly understood, steps and materials, and go step by step, because these kind of slightly complex objects to make take a lot of patience, right? So never be in a hurry, and don't get discouraged if something gets wrong, because you always find a solution, right? So patience is the key. You find, go methodically, go step by step. um, like as I'm repeating, like have your steps very clearly written down, follow them very nicely, never be in a hurry. Okay, then things will happen. All right, so I think that's the key. You have to find various references from where you can pick up and make these things. But you have to be meticulous, and you have to give a lot of time to it. So things don't happen in one day. Like the toys we made earlier, they took a lot of exploration, they took a lot of models. uh, we first made a lot of models, and then we could finally arrive on a final form. So never be afraid to put in time, never be afraid to be persevere and be patient about it. And I think you will be able to. And then once you have a basic mechanism, then you need to explore more and add character and see what all other details you can add. But I think if you're a beginner and beginning to do all these things, uh, be patient and just you have to make a lot. That's all.
I think Webhav kind of asks if you can actually share more such ideas about simple and interesting toys like this that you kind of demonstrated.
Okay, I don't have them ready at the moment. But one simple one that I showed you earlier, it's the simplest possible thing, and it actually just addresses the center of gravity. Okay, so in an ideal situation, or I mean normally, this semicircle should stand straight. If I can make a change in it, what change should I make such that it always rests in this position? When it is shaped like this, it rests horizontal. Okay, it is horizontal, and then when I tip it, it sort of makes a rocking motion. Okay, but if I want to just have it always rest in this position, I have to change the center of gravity. And for that, I just have to add a little bit of weight. So in a symmetrical object, symmetrical object will always follow a symmetry when it's resting. But if I want it to go asymmetrical, I just add a piece of weight, okay, which in this case I had added a coin. So right now it's resting straight. As soon as I add a coin, it will dip. So this is the simplest exploration, and there are a lot of such simple things which you can do with center of gravity, for example. Okay, so I don't have images right now on the toy itself, but we have quite a few examples. If on Facebook, it's called Toypology, TOYPOLOGY. So it's a page I and my friends had made where we had put up toys that we had made, and we had sold a few also. So it's called TOYPOLOGY, Toypology on Facebook. Okay.
In the meantime, Monish shares his work.
Okay, great. Let's see.
Share it. I'll share my screen here, and there you go.
That's really cool. Okay, it's an image or is it a video?
This is an image.
Okay, cool. But I get it. I understand. So you've added hands. So does the hand also go up and down? That's really clever, I think. With the head, I think the upper hand also goes up and down, I think.
Yeah, that's Monish, really clever. Yes.
Yeah, I think that's really clever. Thanks, Monish. That's great.
I'll just check if we have some more entries here.
Okay. So you can look at, again, continuing on those lines, you can look at simple, physics principles and see how you can convert them. So now I can convert it into a creature or like a face or something and create more concepts. So is it a nodding head? Is it an animal who's, trying to drink water or something? Linkages are very interesting. So a pair of scissors is the simplest example of a linkage, where you have essentially two sticks joined by a joint which is movable. So now as you start adding more parts, it will have more complex movements. So linkages could be a very interesting example of where you can start. Okay, it's just about attaching sticks together and see what kind of movement you can get. So definitely check linkages and toys based on linkages.
The last one is, of course, Mansa's work. Again, I'll share it for you. She's already shared the video. She's kind of worked on a little bit with her illustration, and that's it. That's about it on your screen.
All right, that's also cool. 4 eyes, and you've split the mouth actually in half. One half is lower and the other half. Thank you. That's great, Mansa. That looks awesome. Do these people have names also? It's okay, but we kind of get it. Okay.
Thank you, Mansa.
Thanks, Mansa. So I think any other work or any other questions?
Not really.
Okay. So I think who was asking earlier, for mechanisms, if you want to see toys based on mechanisms, check Rob Ives. So that is ROBIVES, Rob Ives. He has a very interesting, he's on Instagram also, and you can find a website also. And he's made very interesting ideas with mechanisms, and he works only with paper. Okay, so check Rob Ives if anybody is interested, in exploring this field. He's, I think, a very nice designer in this respect.
Anything else, participants? Any other questions?
Okay, I guess we can sign off.
Yeah. So thank you, Aditi.
Thank you.
It was an absolutely wonderful session. Being hands-on feels so great, right?
Yes, and I really wish that we were in the same physical space.
Yeah.
That would have been so much more fun. But anyway, yeah, it was great. Thank you.
Hopefully very soon. So I think Learning how to make toys from regular everyday items taught us, how one can enjoy creative movements from anywhere and with anything. You do not need expensive things, but simple everyday objects to create and bring these brilliant pieces of joy to people around you. This is such a creative recycling technique as well. I realized when you were actually working with the Hershey Tetra Pak. Again, thank you, Aditi. Thank you to all the participants for joining us today. Have a great day ahead. Thank you.